Jinkies! It's a ghost ship! This week on Hapless Heroes. Why do I even try?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I am your host and DM as we enter into some naval shenanigans. Joining me as the heroes and crew, part of the crew of this amazing ship, we have none other than Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good evening.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
I am the captain of this ship.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Somebody save
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
I'm all tuned up.
And John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
Pleasure to be back.
So, last time on the show, you guys, were making your way back to Ardwall with Quinn's super special magic sea powers and doing some experimentation with the grenades and gifts that were given to you by, I'm going to keep saying arcane grenades, just to make sure that we are, on the same page here. This is not the modern era. These are not actual hand grenades. These are magical explosive devices. And you guys just decided to go straight for the nuclear option. Set it, because these things are set to various timers that are set in 5-second increments, and you went for the full minute, as that's the maximum time that can be set, and it essentially set off a mini thermonuclear device at sea.
It was a good thing that we ran very far away after we dropped it.
I would like to clarify that we didn't choose the nuclear option. We got to the nuclear option. We chose the most amount of distance between us and an unknown size explosion.
Right.
Yeah. We got the nuclear option.
True. As well as you guys performed an accidental factory reset on however, you were able to get this tiny mechanical puppy back into working order. And then as you guys began as you guys entered into your approach into Ardwall, your ship was kind of started to slow down. Quinn's powers were now I wouldn't say fading, but he felt less of a connection to the sea or whatever, font of magic he was drawing, his powers from. And the sea itself looks corrupted, and a terrifying green fog.
Green fog.
I was on mute.
Has entered,
green fog.
I'm going to keep that in. I'm just going to keep that in. For those of you at home listening.
My green fog is actually on my recording, but it just doesn't. That's hilarious.
For those of you listening at home, prior to starting a recording of this episode, I have everybody so that we can making sure that the audio is all synchronized. We count down and clap so that, when I go back to edit this later, all those little lines are lined up nice. And it's become a running joke now to clap when it's not time to clap. So you're welcome. Just pandemic things with this remote podcast now.
Oh yeah, no, we're so deep into the pandemic. We're going loopy and doing weird stuff.
We've been at this almost a year in pandemic.
Yeah, if anything, we've gotten very good at managing the technology that we have.
No, geez, March. We're 11 months in.
Yeah.
Ew.
Ew is right.
Ew.
Speaking of which, a different kind of pandemic in that of the undead plague is now descending upon you in the form of ghost ships.
Mm-hmm.
Rinky's realm, huh?
You guys aren't far outside outside of Ardwall, but you're far enough away from shore that this is going to be a bit of a naval battle. You don't really know how many ghost ships are within this, thick, limitless fog that now surrounds your ship, but you can see at least 3. There's 1 directly ahead and 2 on either side of the ship. What we're going to do is start by rolling initiative, and things will start to be revealed, I guess, as we continue through this encounter. Quinn, as captain of the ship, I'm gonna say you have some extra cool shit that you can do. So first, let's start by rolling, and then we'll go over what some of the unique mechanics to this particular encounter will entail. All right, so we've rolled initiative, and what we've also done is that we've rolled initiative for the ship itself. So the ship is going to act on initiative count 6 then. And then the undead ships will each be acting on their own initiative counts. So, first, we're going to go ship initiatives. So the way it's worked out is it looks like all the undead ships are acting before the Overstar. Unfortunately.
I heard
it sound like,
but...
yeah, that's what I heard too, is the Freudian slide into undipshits.
Is that what I said?
It sounded like it. I was like, yep, they are definitely dipshits.
I mean, yes, they're taking us on. That sort of does make them dipshits by default.
No, just stop. Thanks for that. Okay, so what we're looking at here is you're going to see a volley of what appear to be these, like, you can see these like projectiles flying out from these undead ships. They look like large tree trunks, essentially, that have been carved into like ballista, like ballista bolts. However, at the head, instead of a sharpened point, are screaming green flame skulls.
Screaming green flame skulls.
God.
This is amazing, and we're already 10 minutes in.
We're never going to get through this.
Only 10 minutes in.
All right.
I don't know about the rest of you. I needed this.
Okay. So I can fire cannons, or I can move.
And you can take 3 actions.
Okay.
As the crew perishes on this ship, the number of actions you can take on your ship's turn will reduce.
Oh. There's some mechanics to this.
So, the goal here is keep as many of your crew alive as possible, while also sinking these ships. The rest of you, once we get to the Oberstar's turn, you guys will be able to act on your initiatives prior to the ship performing its actions. So you can do things to potentially assist, or you can, launch your own plans in addition to what Quinn is doing with the ship. Quinn, I'm going to say that you can take your turn and act, and command the ship to do things. Because again, you're not driving it or doing anything. You are shouting the orders. You are the captain of this ship.
Cool.
Okay. So, the ballistas fire the ballistae. Excuse me, Dave.
Oh, I'm just being a butthead in green room. Don't actually listen to me.
Being pedantic and sending me corrections on my language.
Oh, I'm not sending you corrections. I'm putting corrections in the chat just to be that guy. It's not targeted. It's just me being pedantic and in a room that you just happen to be in.
You sunk my battleship.
All right, so your hull has an AC of 15, so 2 of their shots actually miss and sink into the water. But 1 is a crit, and it impacts the hull and deals 24 fire damage.
Ugh.
And you can see your ship has a hull, like its hull has a hit point of 500. Thankfully, and actually with that crit, I will say that of the 40 crew members, that's not including yourselves, 3 are killed. Okay. That's all they seem to be doing for now, but as you can see that they are actually on an approach vector. Like they are now beginning to turn on an approach vector and begin to move in closer. Right now, they're still about... I'm trying to think about like distances. It's like distance and engagement ranges. It's like, it's kind of... I'm going to say they're probably... ...200 feet out.
200 feet?
200 feet out from you guys.
So super close.
They're close, yeah, but they're like their ballistas are not necessarily within their perfect engagement range. Your cannons, however, and I'm going to say use these stats for the mangonel, because actually that makes more sense for cannonball. Maybe 2 to 480 or something like that. Let's combine those. Because I'm thinking about like actually how far a cannonball can fire, and it's much further than a fucking ballista. Because, you know, explosive and shit. But you guys are, you know, well within cannon range, so you should be able to return fire. However, obviously you're going to have to, you know, you'll probably be able to fire at the ones on your sides, but you'll have to turn the ship, right, to, as like one of your move actions to fire on the one ahead of you.
So just for my brain, how much? So, like, when I move, right? If I move forward, what would be one move action? How many feet?
I mean, it says the travel pace is 4 miles an hour, so
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
probably not much, but you could probably use your magic to potentially propel the ship or lurch it forward to kind of give you maybe if you guys were trying to board one of their ships. You know what I mean? Or you like you may be able to utilize some of your magic to potentially, like, you know, move the ship in ways that it would take a little bit longer to do normally. All right.
Oh, right.
So we're gonna go to the Oberstar now. Boris. We'll start with you. What are you gonna do? You know, these ships are kind of far away, but, you know, it's just, you know, I wasn't sure if there's any preparatory actions you would like to take at this point, or if there's any way, you know, any other way that you'd like to try to potentially affect the situation before, you know, Quinn starts doing things with the ship.
I mean, Boris is very obviously eyeing her hand crossbow, and then eyeing a rope, and then eyeing a ship, and assessing that there is a very good chance that a hand crossbow bolt is not going to carry a ship-sized rope 100 feet for me to, like, rappel across onto another ship. So she is going to grab and run and quickly hide in the same cabin that the dragons are in.
Okay. Okay. Amiz hit it, and it just, you know, again, this robotic dog looks up at you and just says, "Oh, rough. Oh, rough," and then just sits down, like very, very, very mechanically, and it just sits, just motionless now.
Perfect.
Okay. 0. Anything you're doing?
Sure, one sec. Oh, good. Long range for me is 400 feet with reason, so...
Mm-hmm. And you can see that there are undead crew on deck of this, on deck of these ships. Oh, there's only a few stand out to you as potentially like dangerous. Like maybe these are the, you know, some sort of like undead commanders of some kind, but most of them just look like your rank and file, like skeletal pirates almost.
Commanders are good. Rank and file is acceptable. Anything that doesn't get to load a cannon or pull a rope or do anything like that is one more win for us. And since I am well within my range and sharpshooter, meaning I don't have to take a disadvantage, I get my full 400.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? We're going to start firing away at the decks. Let's make sure, I get 3 attacks with reason. We're not going to bother with using our sharpshooter right now. We're just going to fire it full and see what we hit on the deck. So let's see. That's going to be a 3 on the die plus 13. That's a 16 for the first. A 17 plus 13, a 30 for the second. And let's see, 9 and 13, 24 for the third shot.
You managed to hit all of your targets.
Fabulous. And D10 actions. So let's see, it's 10, 6. So it's going to be 9, 7, 13, and 8.
Yeah, you unleash a volley of shots, and you can see that 3 of the skeletal crew members just sort of shatter. You can see that as each bolt hits the undead, like it's almost like a flash of light.
Ooh.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah. And yep, that's my economy. I'm done.
Hedrick, anything you're doing to potentially affect or the tides of battle, so to speak?
Possibly. I need a little more description.
Okay, sure.
Like I have a couple
would
ideas
you like
here.
to know?
Do these ships look like they are solid, even though they're inhabited by undead ghostly?
You can take note without really any checks necessary that these ships look like the wood that they are made out of is rotten, and by all accounts, these should not be floating. Because there's holes where there should not be holes in the hulls of these ships, but they are perfectly afloat.
Okay. And as far as speed, you said you had 1 on either side. Are they like level with the ship, or are they a little behind us?
Yeah, I would say like pretty much like heading straight towards you from the sides, and then 1 that's approaching from the front.
Okay.
Yeah, they fired their shots at him. Now turned their ships and are pointed towards you guys. You can see at the front of each ship is also like what seems to be a mounted like and glowing like screaming like skull. It's mouth and eyes just like green flames pouring out of it.
Green flames.
Green flames.
All right, so the first thing Hedrick would like to do, he pulls out his lute and he starts strumming in sort of like a Spanish classical style, very fast rhythmic strums. He goes, Jabril, just know that Valen is still with you, and though she's battling up in the heavens with the other gods, we're going to do the same down here for her. And he will offer you a bit of inspiration. And then he's going to go back into that bass riff. What I got you gonna get her slamming to wit. He's going to try to cast Force Cage in front of one of these ghost ships, the one that is furthest out to sea. Not the one inland, but the one, I guess, off of our left side.
Okay, yeah, sure. How far can you place it?
Okay, so I have my amplifier, which can double the distance, and the spell's range is 100 feet.
So you want to place it like directly in front of it?
Well, I would like to possibly hold this action until it's at 200 feet.
I mean,
and I don't want to put it down in the water. I want to put it up about
absolutely.
deck
It's
level.
floating anyways, right? So you're trying to essentially use it to impede the movement of the ship before they have a chance to react, because it's also invisible. I like this idea a lot.
Correct.
And I'm saying it's like you could probably place it there right now. Like it's right there at the edge of that range, and they'd probably smash into it next time it's their turn.
Well, that's why I wanted to make sure they have
There
zero
will be no
reaction
time for them to
time.
react.
And the fact that it also, because this is not a barred cage, and I guess the amplifier only uses one charge for the distance doubling, and it would not double the range, the area of effect. Right? It wouldn't be able to do both.
You choose which one. You either choose to double the area of effect, or you choose to double the range. I feel like it'd be too broken if you could do both at the same time.
Yeah, so this is 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet.
That's
I'm
yeah. I mean, the ship is much larger than that, but it's still gonna just like punch. They're gonna punch straight through it.
Yes, and my idea is at deck level, it will create the most surface damage.
Yeah, especially because these things are not like completely flat, right? They're like they're concave.
Yeah,
or they're like they're
possibly
like
taking out
deck, right?
the base of the mast.
I'm about to say, put it at the right spot. Snap those masts right off that ship.
Yeah, well,
right. That's the idea. Now, even though it has holes in it, I feel like just simply damaging the hull wouldn't do the trick.
Nope, but I mean, it still will do untold damage to this ship. So yeah, you place it right there. It's invisible. They're not going to know what hit them, literally.
Put them away. Put them away.
They're not going to know what they hit.
Yeah, it's just going to start like disappearing and exploding, and then they usually have like this big
this big hole, right?
Giant cube tunnel.
Because they got the momentum now, so.
So the idea is, put it right in their path so they go straight through that thing the long ways.
Love it. What a creative idea. All right.
You basically just Kool-Aid manned their ship.
So, inspiration has been given. Force Cage has been cast. Anything else there, Hedrick?
I guess I would move back to the quarters with Boris and just make sure like she's got a plan. So I want to be within sight of that door on the deck.
All right, Quinn. It is your turn. You may again take your own actions and then command the ship.
So I do both at the same
I mean, yeah, you guys are pretty much acting.
So John doesn't go first.
John has an initiative of Jarrell has an initiative of 3, so he's acting after everything. Which is, I think he's used to this by now.
Yep, more than used to it.
It's been years.
I think I'm just going to... I almost want to just cast mirror image on myself and have 4 of me just like barking out orders to people. But I know that's not how it works. Just like 4 Quins just running around telling people what to do and how to run the ship. But I think I am going to cast... I am going to cast mirror image on myself. Just as a precursor to possible invasion.
And also to assert your dominance as captain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, let's be honest.
If this were chess, that would be the Morton Mac opener.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I love that.
So that's my action. I guess I really wouldn't take any movement, so I'm gonna stay right up on the ship there.
On the helm.
And then I guess we'll move the boat then, or we'll take some actions on the boat.
Yeah. So you can move it and you can fire, like the cannons. You can take 3 of these actions currently because you still have more than half of your crew. I would say potentially,
So there's one coming at us from the front, right? So if we were to go forward, we would be going at that ship, correct?
Correct. And you have 2 at your sides, and you have cannons lined up on either side.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna potentially. But I want to go toward them or away from them.
I don't know. You're the captain.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to decide.
Or
okay,
between,
so
or between
I'm
them.
going to.
Like the one on
I'm
the port side to your left is now spoken for, as far as it has a force cage in front of it. So your biggest threats are the one directly ahead and the one to your starboard side.
So and then I've got cannons on both the starboard and the port side.
Correct. They're on the sides of the ship. They're not on the front. So you'd have to you have to rotate the ship as a move action, right, to potentially fire at.
Right, first one or the one ahead of me. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, so that's not
So I think
bogged down by too many mechanics. Yeah.
I'm gonna say how many? Sorry, last thing. How many cannons are on each side?
You're going to be rolling for the group of them, and if it's a hit, you're dealing 5d10 damage.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So let's fire at the starboard side.
Okay, sounds good. So go ahead and make an attack roll. It's +5 to hit. And are you aiming just at their hull, or are you aiming? Are you choosing a different target for the cannons to potentially fire? I mean, again, you're not going to necessarily get complete accuracy because they're cannonballs, but
sure. I would say we're going to try to go dead center, because I think just from what I'm understanding, getting the bottom of the ship isn't really going to do anything.
Going straight for the hull.
So so I think that trying to get rid of as many crewmates as possible would be the most helpful.
Okay.
So we're going to shoot right for the center of the hull. We're going. We rolled a 22.
A 22 definitely hits. Roll me 5d10 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh. 10. How many of these I have? This is a 10.
And for our audience, I mean, come on, we've known that he's been a captain for how many years, and this is his first time ever actually being the captain of a ship in a naval battle. So
I'm so excited.
It had to happen. It had to happen, folks.
All right, let's see here. 10, 15, 17, minus 26 plus 8. 34?
34 damage directly to the hull.
Damage.
And you can see that you've definitely killed at least 5 crew.
Yes! So that's one action, right? So then we're going to... So if I choose to tilt, if I choose to turn, that's one action, right? And then moving forward is another action?
Correct. Because, it takes effort to, shift a ship, right? It's not...
Right, that's what I figured. Okay. So we're going to shift about 45 degrees.
Yep, so you're going to try to put yourself
so that we are angled between the starboard and
then
the
begin moving
center one.
Ahead.
In between them, yep.
Perfect, okay. Excellent. Well done. All right, so...
For my first time, I thought that was pretty well done.
Yeah, very well done. Hold on, let me just do some quick math here.
Mike's first time, not Quinn's first time.
All right, we get it.
So he says.
I know, actually, potentially, I don't think Quinn has ever done this before.
You never know. It's a great mystery.
I think he's getting super excited to just yell, "Fire!"
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I was just making sure I notated all the hull and crew numbers of each of the undead ships. All right, perfect. So we'll start with the undead ship, which is actually directly ahead of you. That's going to you're going to see it's now going to, it sees that you've adjusted your position, so now it's going to angle itself almost on an intercept course. So now it's now turned itself so that you guys are kind of moving diagonally towards one another. Like you're going to kind of meet at some point if it continues its current heading. And it also has a side pointed at you, and you're going to see, some two shots from their ballistas. 9, nope. 10 against the hull's not going to do it, and actually, nor is a 13. So you've managed to dodge that. You can already see that there's a few undead crew on top of that ship. You can see them holding up like gangplanks and stuff like that and moving them around so that they can potentially, like, they're trying to move into board you guys. The ship on now the port side is smashing into a invisible force cage, and you can see this 10 by 10 like cube, just like you can just see like something that just puncture the front of the ship, and it's just carving through the top of it. And 15 of their crew are either destroyed or pushed overboard, and they are.
What if the masts?
The masts are completely destroyed, so now the ship is at least is unable to utilize any wind at all to move, and we'll see if that has any effect on its movement. And the hull takes a tremendous amount of damage.
And it'll be there for an hour.
Nope, they're just above half crew, actually. But you can see that, like, there's just this now massive hole punctured through, like, the sort of top of this ship that's, like, above water here, and it's just, like, been decimated. Like, and you can see that them trying to adjust course, and it takes the rest of their turn to even turn away from this thing to mitigate any further damage. And then the warship to your, still technically still on your starboard side, right? Because you guys are now moving between them. Uses some time to adjust its course, and now it's also pointed, so now you guys are all moving towards the same, like, peak eventually. You guys are these ships, if they continue on their current courses, will probably meet each other in another turn. Or two.
So just to clarify, the ship's got to go twice before me?
Oh my god, John, I skipped you entirely.
It happens.
Jarrell, I'm so sorry.
It's a brutal DM.
I'm so sorry. We're going
Roll
to
higher next time.
We're going to pause on the remaining action of the last undead ship there. And Jarrell, what would you like to do? My deepest apologies. It won't happen again.
I forgive you. I haven't clarified how far I can shot put these grenades.
You've never really tried. I'm gonna say definitely less than 100 feet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I just wanted to make sure that I couldn't throw them that far. I don't know
Let's
if
see.
like are they. They're kind of like softball size, right?
Are they similar in size to the cannonballs?
Like, if you think about like the sport of,
Dangerous idea.
if you think no, they're not. But if you think about the sport
The weight of a
shot
shot
put,
put, like it's a heavy ball,
60 feet is a hell of a throw.
right? Even for somebody as incredibly strong as Jarrell.
Like essentially Olympic athlete level strength or even divine strength. Like 60 feet is a hell of a throw.
I just want to make
I'll
sure
say that-
before I make my decision.
And I'll say that for you, Jarrell, 60 feet, like, we'll give you the top end of how far
It's
you
an
can
average,
shot
yeah,
from one of
okay.
these.
So then my second thought is we're losing crew members, correct?
You've lost a few.
Can I revivify crew members?
Oh,
I
damn.
think that would be a Jarrell thing to do.
I mean, you're spending lots of money on the materials.
Jarrell's
there
really
to-
rich. I don't know how often we cover this fact.
No, that's good. I mean, listen, like, for the first time for this spell to actually be used, you're using it on, like the common
Red
folk.
Yeah, what's the most Jarrell thing possible to do? You get 300 gold, and you get 300 gold. Now you're not dead,
Jarrell,
and you're not dead.
I'm going to say two things here. Yes, you can do that, and you will get inspiration for this.
Oh, well, okay. I'm totally doing it.
You can res one person per turn.
Okay. Well, I can only do it
as
three
long
times
as long as their bodies aren't hucked overboard, obviously, because in that case they're unreachable.
Or like disintegrated.
That too.
Okay, well,
Sure.
I revive one crew member then.
You now have 38 crew members alive. So I'm pretty sure I said you guys lost 3 or 2.
Yeah.
3. Okay. Well, now you've only lost 2. And the crew member stands to their feet and just like hugs you, and then picks up their sword and is like ready to like fight, and they're like running back, and trying to see where they can make themselves useful.
Cool.
There's probably some sort of yahahar in there somewhere, because I mean, don't forget the Sea Lords are kind of highly refined pirates, but there still has to be at least one R every now and again.
Right.
Yeah, great. And then finally, real quick, the final galley does fire 1 round of ballista shots. Damn, I suck at rolling tonight. You guys are really lucky, and they both miss. I mean, you're happy that I suck at rolling, and I guess since I'm not a player right now, I actually am okay with this. But when I get back to playing Felix, this low roll bullshit's got to stop. Anyhoozle, we're back to the Oberstar. So, Boris, at this point now, the ships are no more than 100 feet apart.
No more than 100 feet. Okay, how close is the closest ship?
90.
Okay. I guess at this point, I'm just trying to make myself useful and help with anything possible. I mean, I checked to see if there is any possible way for us to use the cannons to shoot those grenades.
I mean, the grenade would fit in a cannon.
It's really risky.
So I mean, I kind of like hold a grenade near a cannon and assume at that point I've probably got the attention of at minimum Captain Quinn watching me walk with a grenade to the captain.
Actually, the
cannon.
The cannons are 1 deck below. They're not on the deck. They're actually set into the sides of the ship. So you'd actually have to go below decks to see where the cannons are being operated by the crew. So if you were to go down there, technically no one else would see you.
I don't know how to arm the grenades, and I promised I wouldn't learn. So I do bring one of the grenades up to Captain Quinn and go, "Hey, Captain, what do you think about maybe loading a couple of these into the cannons?"
Which one do you walk up to?
Oh wait, are there 4 of you now?
Yeah, but they're all standing.
4.
They're all standing like close to one another, right? But yeah, there are technically 4 Quinns around because one just simply isn't enough.
I walk into the kind of the center of them and spinning in a circle the whole time I'm talking. Change that to, "Hey, Captain Quinns."
And what was your question again?
What do you think about maybe loading a couple of these into one of the cannons?
I don't know if the cannons were built for those.
I mean, I don't think they were built to fight ghost ships at all.
Do you have a slingshot or something you could use?
Boris quickly investigates all of her pockets.
Yeah, they say frantically checks inventory.
Don't you have a slingshot you could make for it?
You know what? Boris spends the rest of her turn running around the ship looking for things to craft a slingshot out of.
Okay, again, these things weigh like 10 pounds.
Looking for very large things to craft a... Is there any like large, like elasticy type material on the ship?
I mean, there's crossbows.
No, like a fabric type thing. Something stretchy.
So, with my very little knowledge of how cannons actually work, I just don't think it's smart to put a grenade-like thing inside a cannon.
No, God, no, it's a terrible idea.
I mean, you never know, right? Because, again, these things are very complex, right? And must be armed. Like,
sure.
And they did arrive in a crate where they're all just stacked on top of one another loosely. So there's probably some precautions like put in place here. You could infer.
But maybe she should go read the manual?
I mean, y'all did read the manual, and nowhere in there did it mention whether or not these could be loaded into cannons and fired. I mean, as awesome of a scientist as Omnius is, I guess he just must not reached that stage of experimentation and research on these. These are prototypes, after all.
I mean, on one hand, this is a great opportunity to see if this works. On the other hand, I really don't want to blow up our ship. So the Quinn side of me is saying no.
Okay, well, that's about as much discussion.
The Boris side of you might change the...
as I'm going to let happen here. So, Boris,
yeah,
it is your call.
Am I out of time to talk to anybody, period, or is that just the end of this particular conversation?
The end of this particular conversation if you want to do something this turn.
Excellent. I dash one of the grenades over to... Who else read the book? Hedrick, right?
Yes.
Yep, I dash a grenade over to Hedrick and say, quick, we need to get one of these into the cannons.
And this is exactly when Quinn just says, why do I even try to lead this group of people?
Because every now and again they listen to you. Trust me.
Every
I have
now
a
and
plan.
again.
So, Boris, you've sort of now handed off responsibility potentially to Hedrick.
I'll hand a grenade off anyway.
Mm-hmm. We're going to see what Zero wants to do.
All right. Well, Zero's a man of really simple interests.
So where do those simple interests direct themselves to?
Well, let's see. Well, where did those first shots of ours go? Starboard side target?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because the port side got the
Yes.
force cage.
Yeah, port side got the force cage, and the one directly ahead of us. I don't think we have a good angle to shoot at. Okay, well, you know what? We shot at the starboard guy before. We're going to shoot at the starboard guy again, because personally it amuses me to do so, and I like clearing the decks on one before we get to a second. Let's see, that's a crit. Let's see, a 4 plus 13 is a 17 for the second. And a 20. So a nat 20, unnatural 20, and something that we... Oh, geez, what was it? A 17.
Yeah, I mean, again, you just pick off 3 more crew members from that ship, and now they are definitely below half crew.
Excellent. Yeah, that's about all I got. Otherwise, I'm just sort of pacing up and down the deck and revving the flywheel on Reason a whole bunch and just sort of getting amped for people to come close. One question I have, since we're sort of splitting the 2 ships ahead of us, if we continue at our current speed, we're going to hit the same point as those other 2 at about the same time, right?
Correct.
Hey, Quinn, step on it.
Well, before Quinn can step on it, Hedrick, what do? You have been handed a grenade by Boris with specific instructions to load it into a cannon.
He takes off his loot and he wants to set it to, what do you think, Boris? 5 or 10?
5
seconds.
How long did it take for the cannonball to fly over and hit the ship?
I mean, you guys are within 100 feet, so it's not going to take very long at all.
Like a second, kind of. It wouldn't have taken more than 5 seconds to hit the ship, for sure. Yeah, so 5 seconds.
Oh, Does it appear like there's a ghost at the helm of these ships, or they're just completely on attack and the ship is doing what it has?
It doesn't appear to be anything in particular that you can notice steering the ships.
Okay.
Or any one.
If I can see any area along there, so the hull of the starboard side, any area they might be setting up a gangplank or any means.
Not yet. They have they have like the items on the deck, but they are waiting until they are in range in order to, pick them up and drop them on your ship.
Right where those ghosts are, Hedrick is going to take the grenade from Boris, set it to 5 seconds, lob it up into the air, and he's going to swing his loot as if he's hitting this grenade. But he's casting catapult.
Yes.
Oh, that's much smarter.
Yes. Yes, I love this spell. I fucking love this spell.
I only know this because I took the Arcane Initiate feat, which allowed me access to different spell lists, and so I chose this as a first level spell. I can launch an object up to 5 pounds, 90 feet. If this is heavier than...
This is heavier than 5 pounds, but...
Okay, so at second level, you can increase it by 5 pounds, and there's more damage on the effect.
That's all you need is an additional 5 pounds. So if you cast it at second level, you can hurl, or you can catapult one of these grenades.
So the object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in any direction I choose before falling to the ground. So it would be level for 90 and then start to sink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess what's exactly 90 feet away from you?
So I want it at the kind of concentric area of where these guys would be setting up the gangplanks and the boarding equipment.
Plenty of ghastly crew over there.
So I'll aim for a creature, and they have to make a dexterity saving throw.
So, I mean, either way, the grenade is going to land, but also if you hit them, you'll do, like, the impact damage.
Well, if it hits an object, it does damage to the object.
It will affect the hull as well.
Yes.
All right. Actually, yeah. I think it passes the save somehow with a 16.
Nope. My spell save DC is 18.
Oh, that's beautiful. In that case, no, it fails. But it's okay. Felix is 19, so actually that checks out.
Okay, so it's taking 4d8 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, right, because it gets hit with the grenade before it explodes. So it's just like his head just gets knocked back, and then the grenade impacts the hull.
18 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I mean, you see its head just explode. Mm-hmm. It's just bone.
Yeah. So. I was just seeing this confused ass skeleton wandering around with the thing just implanted right dead smack in the middle of its chest, doing the John Travolta confused look around for 5 seconds before just blowing up.
I like this better, and that's now what happens.
And he's gonna say, "Boris, fetch me another." And for his bonus action, he will start to inspire 0, which he has never done before.
Oh.
Oddly enough.
Let's hear it.
Okay. What's a name? What's a number? Well, does he look heroic? His objective knows no slumber. He's the world's best helmsman and a prototype. An inorganic man with deadly aim. And soon you're going to know it's the time of the reason from 0.
Wow.
Amazing. I give you real life inspiration for that, or I received real life inspiration.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is we get the inspiration from Phil, not even just Hedrick. Phil, you are inspiring.
Yeah, Phil, that was
looking around my office for a lighter.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to be generous, instead of adult onset inspiration, maybe the crew could act with a bit of advantage.
Sure. Crew loved it.
amongst all this chaos of like flame skull ballistas and like cannons being launched, there's this
Well,
sweet
I mean,
sultry
you
sound.
literally just fucking like home run derbied a grenade over to the ship. Which, by the way, we still have to resolve the explosion of.
Correct.
So, you know, as you kind of reach that crescendo of the time of the reason, you just see this, like, smaller explosion erupt from, you know, where the grenade was embedded in this skeleton doing the Travolta thing. And you can see that it definitely affects probably like a 10-foot diameter area, and everything in that is just explodes and like it, you know, rips out like, you know, chunks of the hull on the top of the ship there.
What is the nature of this damage? Is it fire, or does it look like force, or does it look like
This particular explosion looked like an actual like an arcane like a pulse, like a you know, just like this. You just see this like this wave of force come out and just literally shatter everything.
sweet?
And I will say that affects 7 crew, in addition to the one that you know, hit with it.
Beamed them.
And and the hull takes you know, some good amount of damage. In fact, I'm gonna have you roll me 4d6. It's the 5-second option.
That's 14.
Okay.
How about a little home run derby?
All right. So the grenade exploded. The people are inspired. Like, so many great things have happened. Hedrick, what a turn! What a turn! We're gonna move now to Quinn and the Overstar.
Quinn is going to just simply take a shot with his short bow and hope that he hits something on the closest ship.
Just firing an arrow
Which is, what,
out of
90
that?
feet away?
Just playing it safe.
I mean, I think he can visualize hitting something, but he also knows that it's probably just going to be dumb luck if he hits something.
He just wants to contribute.
Yep, he's controlling the boat, which is contributing enough. But at this point, his magic doesn't have the range to really do anything right now. So he's going to shoot a bolt from his short bow.
You mean an arrow?
Whatever. So I rolled at disadvantage because it is
Outside of your...
past the it's outside the initial range of a short bow. But he rolled a 21.
Oh yeah, you hit something.
Yeah, I rolled a 15 and a 16, which is pretty cool.
You hit a crew member, and like I said, I'm resolving things more simply here. You take out one of the crew.
Sweet. And then I control my ship on my turn too, right? So we are going to full steam ahead in 2 actions.
Okay.
Because that is what I heard from a very hefty voice from afar. So I barrel two moves ahead, straight ahead, and then take the other action to shoot at the starboard ship again.
Do it.
Which is a +5, correct?
I believe.
So.
Oh no. Oh no.
Use my
I'm gonna
inspiration.
use my lucky feet.
Okay, yeah, you better do something about that.
Because this is a nat 1.
Now here's
so
the
we're
thing.
gonna
Here's
that
the
off the
thing.
board.
Here's the thing, Captain. Your lucky feat applies to your rolls. You are rolling for the ship. Your ship doesn't have the lucky feat.
What about inspiration?
Ooh, I will allow the inspiration.
You can use my inspiration because my goal is to not kill the crew, and I think that might kill the crew.
That might be very devastating to the crew. Yeah. So thank you, John. I will re-roll with using your inspiration.
No. No.
which is it's not a nat 1, but it is a nat 2, and that makes 7. So I'm pretty sure that's the only a step above what I originally rolled.
Well, Quinn, thankfully you can't be blamed because it's your crew who fired poorly, and your helmsman who steered the ship poorly. So yeah, unfortunately, this volley doesn't do any measurable damage. You see all the cannonballs just fly overhead of the ship and don't actually hit. It was just the incredible speed in which you lurched forward that caused the shots to just whiff.
Sure, fair enough.
Okay. Well, Jarrell.
It is now John's turn.
Do you have anything you'd like to do? I was not going to skip him again. I was not going to skip him again.
I was like, don't rev up for anything that you got to retcon.
Still too far away. I'm not 60 feet from either of the ships, right?
No.
Okay. So then, yeah, I'll revive another of the crew members.
Okay. Damn.
We're almost at full capacity again.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Yeah, 39 crew out of 40. Okay.
I'm sad if you don't get to that last one, though.
Well,
Have a nice funeral.
there may be more casualties than just the one now, as the other two ships now move into intercept range and begin turning themselves so that they can lower the gangplanks.
One of them is like destroyed though, right?
One of them is having a hard time catching up to y'all. So you only have two that you're
Correct.
currently worrying about that are now kind of, again, like pinching in and pulling up alongside you. But again, they're coming a little bit from behind and they're moving up. And it takes the entirety of their movement to catch up to you guys.
Okay, so the way I was seeing is that we had two ships kind of coming in, like, from north to south, and one kind of coming in from the side. I had told him to speed up because it should shoot right through the gap and make those ships have to make this big wide-ass turn.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Us.
Yeah, so, but they're still trying to attempt to maneuver, but now they are pointed directly at you because they have to catch up.
Yeah. That was the other half of the gambit is, let's say they step on it and try to catch us at that spot, there's a great chance they still whiff and blast right into
Well, they are
each other.
They are very close. Like, they did use all three of the actions afforded to their ships to just move. And you can see, again, like, nothing is steering these ships, but they are still propelling themselves forward. The one that is very, very damaged, the one that had the force cage hole in it, is without its sails and without everything else, it seems to still be propelling itself towards you guys, but it is kind of like moving very erratically.
And that was the port side one, correct?
That was the port side one. The one that was initially port side to you guys. Because now currently, right, you have the one that was directly ahead and the one that was starboard are now port and starboard to you because you are moving between them. You kind of like move diagonally between them.
Okay, so that one's like behind us now.
Correct. Yeah, the severely damaged ship is behind yours now. And technically the other two are as well, but again, they're pulling up and like trying to come up alongside. But they're, at this point, parallel with you guys, but behind. And you can see that the, undead crew of these ships are looking eager to board. They are looking menacingly at you and your crew as the lifeless look in their eyes seeks, instills nothing but fear in those who are not within 30 feet of Jarrell and worry for the remainder.
Consternation
For the rest. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. Thank you all out there in radio podcast land for listening. If you like us, you can find us on the internet. We're on such places as Twitter and Instagram. Just search at Hapless Heroes. And we're also on Facebook and Reddit. Just look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. Really, though, a lot of those places will just point you to where we're truly active on the interwebs, and that's our Discord server, where you can meet and interact with us, talk about the show, episodes. We do try to make sure that any specific episode talk or spoilers are tagged as such in the channel, so don't be afraid to join in if you're catching up to this at some point in the past, future, whenever you're listening to this. And all manner of other discussions, sometimes debates on what truly is or isn't a sandwich or a ravioli or whatever, ridiculous, stupid internet discussions that, spin out of control happen to be. And I still remain vehemently opposed to pineapple on any kind of pizza. But yeah, just check it out. There's links that'll take you right there. They'll have the invite link, and you can join the conversation. But if you really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice, or shoot us an email at haplessheroes@gmail.com and just say some kind things about us, and we'll say some kind things right back to you. In fact, we had someone recently write to us that also subsequently joined our Discord server, and that was Kelly had reached out to us and was saying that she had just finished episode 79, which, if I look at our titles, I believe this was the mega plan. It was the super secret plans, excuse me, where we had located the final gem right before the big event in Tarantus, and Felix had pulled one over on the party. Remember, produced the whole orb, and we're not going to talk about what happens after that, but she says, Kelly says that all she has to say is it was a great plan. So you know what, Kelly? Thank you. In fact, I wrote her back saying that, the words "I have a plan" unfortunately have become a trigger for the rest of the party. However, I thought it was a good plan too. So thank you, Kelly, for agreeing with me that it was, in fact, a great plan. Now, if you really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a whole variety of rewards, everything from shiny rolls in our Discord server to secret channels you can even have conversations in to flaunt your exclusivity, and behind the scenes audio, bloopers, lots of bloopers. We have a crap load at this point released on there. I don't even remember Phil's a cappella musical sensation from Hedrick. I mean, just literally, I'm adding everything I possibly can on there to give back to you, our wonderful and amazing audience. So just check it out, patreon.com/haplessheroes.
And if you really, really, really love us, Sallyfield and the whole deal, we all know about Hallmark holidays and the kind of feelings that those incite within us, good or ill. And I say, enough. Why have a Hallmark holiday when you could have a hapless holiday? So if you really love us, create your own hapless holiday. One of the best things about these holidays is that they can happen spontaneously, anytime, anywhere. If you really love us and you are so moved, just do it. And the best thing is you can create your own traditions, so long as they are within the Hapless Heroes standards and that sort of mindset. You can share goat milk mimosas with strangers. You could probably mouth off to somebody needlessly.
Don't condone
Bonus
choking
points.
strangers.
Bonus points if you get this holiday made into a national holiday, where we all get the day off.
Oh yeah.
Whoever, everyone in your country does.
Oh, surely brunch would be a staple.
Super extra bonus points if you manage to get the world to adopt 11 o'clock as the new afternoon.
And large purple hats. Lots of large purple hats.
Yes. Share the largest of purple hats you can find with all of your
We've
neighbors.
given you plenty of ideas.
The largest in purple.
plenty of ideas now to jump off from here.
Interrogating your neighbor's dog. The list goes on.
A rough.
And always, and remember, do it with love in your heart and a hapless sense of mind.
Aw.
Well, I guess there's nothing left for me to do besides outro this cast for you, so I'm going to start on my virtual right this time with John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
Until next time.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Captain, I believe your fans are eager to meet you.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
I'm ready to stab these skeletons.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Full steam ahead!
And Dave as Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good night, everyone.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host, DM, and we'll see you next week as we continue this naval battle. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
In my belly button?
Goodbye.
Bye.